Greetings, brothers and sisters who have arrived here on this channel. The last warning. What else can happen to serve as a warning to the world about the end that is coming? In this video, you will see this last warning that happened this month in the world for you guys to realize all of the ways that God is warning the world that the end is coming and that the grace is coming to an end. Before I tell you guys about this, if you don't know who I am, my name is Ricardo Garcia. I make videos here on YouTube for about a decade about the end times, about the prophecies of the Bible, that the first one we are looking at is the next one, the rapture of the church, that should be coming and happening very soon in this world. We are the generation that will see the return of Jesus Christ, and we have proof, historical proofs about it. I recommend you to start here on these videos here on my channel, where we have this ultimate timeline and the update of this ultimate timeline that shows you how we got where we are right now. It explains perfectly why we have astronomical data to prove the historical data that we also researched to show that we should be getting into the last 7 years of this world before the millennium kingdom of Christ, and we should be living before that start, before the Antichrist that should appear by next Passover. So after you start here, you have all these playlists here available for you to watch and learn and see how we got here, as we have been updating with each live stream that we do, what we receive and how we got where we are right now. I highly recommend you to watch. I truly believe you haven't seen many information here anywhere else. We have confirmations about the connection to 1948 and in 2032 here, which is something I haven't seen anywhere else either. So we have a lot of good information that you can watch and extract from videos that we have been doing for many, many years. But the latest one, of course, are the best ones for you to watch. We also updated here the end times progression banner, which you can see all of the signs that we have been receiving since 2014 and 2015 blood moon tetrads. They are pointing towards the last ones, which will be 2032 and 2033, which I highly recommend you to also watch. We talked about that on some previous videos on this channel. So coming back here to the PowerPoint for you guys to see the last warnings. I have to excuse myself, you guys, because I haven't been doing videos for a couple weeks now. I am a little bit sick still from some problems I had on my lungs here. So I have been sick, have been dealing with this sickness, also my household as well. So forgive me for having been away for a while. It's kind of hard to deal with all of this here with small children. Some of you guys do know how hard it is that I'm talking about. But let's try to do this as best as we can in order to pass this information for you guys. So some of you guys already know that in 2023 and 2024, we had two great American eclipses that took place there on October 14, 2023 and April 8, 2024. Those two solar eclipses, visible in the United States, they created this X pattern, this cross, which a lot of people back in the day talked about how this was a warning to America that the end is coming, that grace period is coming to an end because America here is the greatest Christian nation there is. So this Christian world is coming to an end because of this sign here that took place on 2023 and 2024. And we were watching that. We saw that many people recorded all those eclipses. We saw the coincidences that took place with those paths for the solar eclipses that took place. And after it passed, many people just forgot that this actually happened. And it's interesting to see that it happened in 2023, 2024, and so far nothing had majorly happened in 2025 until now, until November 11 and November 12, that this happened in America. So there was a great geomagnetic storm that took place on November 11 and November 12 that Many places in America, the sky became red. Yes, the sky became blood red because of this geomagnetic storm, and it affected more than half of the country. People could see this from Denver all the way to New York, Quebec, and Seattle there. Some people saw it all the way in Atlanta with some cameras, but all the way there in Florida, some people could still see it happening in America. The sky became blood red because of this geomagnetic storms. And we received some amazing photos here that some beloved brothers and sisters sent us here through our email to show you guys some photos of this that happened in November 11 and November 12. So we see here on picture and another one that combined the two. You see the blood red skies here is all the way there in the horizon, but it's clearly visible a major red light there in the skies. Another photos here that we had a dark sky with this red aurora happening here, and one more visible here from a northern part of the country. We see the green aurora that it's usual. It usually happens in the northern parts of the country, but then the red aurora here, painting the sky as blood red. And this is simply amazing to see such a warning from God about the things that we are seeing here, right? Because this is major. This is not something that you expect to happen every year or whatsoever, and it's interesting to see. We also have some videos here. Here you see the green aurora all the way in the north. You see that it's so strong that the floor is painted with this greenish light here. The floor became clear with this green light here on the floor, but that's all the way in the northern part, which is usual, but not this strong. And we have another video here showing the great red aurora here happening. I don't know where this is from, but it's very interesting to see such a red glow in the skies. And when I see this, and I know many people saw this spectacle and found it awesome and found it beautiful and amazing, but people forgot to think about what would the ancients think when they saw such a red skies like that without any major information such as those that we have about this geomagnetic storm and explanation of how can this happen. What would the ancients think about this when they saw a red sky? That's a very important thing for you to think about, because the Bible was written by people 2000 years ago. So when they saw such a red sky, uh, most likely they would think it's such an end times prophecy coming to play, right? So we have another video here. This is the last one. I believe it's shot from a drone. Very beautiful red skies here, aurora, taking place in the US. So when the ancients would have seen this, they would claim that this is a God warning to this country here, because the end is coming very soon because of this. And we cannot uh, accuse them of being ignorant, because they wouldn't have this information and they wouldn't have the explanation of why this happens, but this would be a major sign from God. And we have to understand this as a sign from God, especially coming from a set of signs taking place here, which is a major signs from God that are pointing to the same conclusion: the end of the church age, the end of the grace period, the moment of the rapture of the church that would take the church out of this world in order for the men of lawlessness come into this world and prepare the world for 7 years of tribulation. So a major sign that took place here, and together they look like this. So 2023, one eclipse, 2024, another eclipse, formed this X, and now this red sky here, most of the country happening in 2025. So 23, 24, 25 major signs of warning. what can we expect for 26 if we get there. So as I have been showing you guys and explaining to you guys, by 2026 has got to be the latest that we can expect the tribulation to take place based on historical data. And because of that, we can expect to live up to that moment or up to the year 2026, especially now that we know that 26 is a number that counting is the name of God in Hebrew. So the name of God in Hebrew, Yud Hey Vav Hey, has a value of 26, and 2026 next year has got to be the year by historical data in which we live. Okay, which is something very important. Before I move to that slide here, I forgot to mention that we in America there was this guy here called Stalking Wolf in Apache tribe, I believe, an American Indian that had this many prophecies, and one of that prophecies was about this red sky being and there's no turning back after the third event, which is the great red skies being visible in his visions. Old Apache in the 920s. So this person here, this man here, which what I saw here, he Solkenov was a man in awe of Jesus Christ. So most likely he believed in Jesus, and he received many prophecies here about things that would have happened in the future. And one of these prophecies, the third one here, which after it takes place, there is no turning back, the end will be coming, is when he sees the towards the setting sun, the sky suddenly turning back into liquid and turned blood red. As far as I could see, the sky was a solid red. So this third vision here, once it happens, there's no turning back, the end will be coming. He sees the sky turning red. So just like I said in the beginning, what would the ancients think about when they saw such a red skies like that we saw in the videos? They would be thinking that the end was coming. And indeed, there's a vision from this uh, old Apache American Indian here that has received this vision about the red skies, which has no turning back after that point. So it's interesting to see that we even have prophecies here leading to this conclusion that indeed we received many warnings. We received many warnings from God pointing that the end is coming. And we are expecting this end because we, as a church of Jesus Christ, we expect to leave this earth before the man of sin appears, before he comes and appear to the world to bring peace. There must be a chaos, and this chaos is created by the rapture of the church. Before he can be revealed, we as the temple of the Holy Spirit must leave. Just like the Spirit came, the Spirit will leave with the church. And the restrainer, which is His Holy Spirit, will leave, and then the man of sin will appear and be revealed to do what he must do for 7 years. That's what we are expecting. We have been studying, and we are indeed expecting for this moment in time because of this massive ultimate timeline that I have put out for you guys. We have confirmation all over from historical facts, and astronomical facts that shows us that from Jesus' timeline, he died and resurrected on the year 32 AD, and that has got to be the 4,000 years since creation. We had a blood moon event on that Passover to point to that event, confirming that, and taking from that 32 AD crucifixion, it takes us to 2032 to be the year 6000. And 7 years prior, we have this possibility, or the last moment that the Antichrist has got to appear. It is the spring of 2026, in order for it all to finish by the spring of 2033, which will still be the year 6000 since creation. We know God is a God of order, and he do everything in a perfectly manner. That's how he created human history. So if the lamb died on the 4,000 year, which is the fourth day since creation, then the lamb should rule on the 6,000 year or the sixth day of the millennium, sixth day since creation, because then it will all be finished by the 7,000 years after 1,000 years of the lamb's rule. And for that to take place, the Antichrist, the man of sin, must be revealed and do this 7 years covenant no later than the 1st of April 2026, which will be the Jewish Passover on the day of the lie, the April Fool's Day, right? The best day ever for a character such as the Antichrist to do a covenant with many. And the tribulation must happen by it in order for it to end by the Passover of 2033, which has got to be the Passover where Jesus Christ will be crowned king and then start to rule for the 6,000 years ahead and so on forward, the Millennium Kingdom. For that to take place, we must leave at the rapture of the church before the 1st of April 2026, and that's where we stand right now. We are in November 2025, expecting to leave before April 1st, 2026, based on historical data, based on biblical studies, based on astronomical evidence, and based on everything that has been a warning for us, for the church of God, to the whole world, on the signs in the skies, moon, and the sun. And we are expecting this with a lot of base in order to know that our God is coming to take us home. And we can stand on that because we have a lot of solid evidence to support this. So we are expecting right now, as of November 2025, to leave anytime between now and at most 40 days before the 1st of April, because we believe that there must be at least 40 days of reign, right? Of chaos, in order for the Antichrist to come out of this chaos and present peace to the world. So we have been watching the dates that are the following here. The next ones, of course, are November 30th through December 7th, which is the moment of the time of Noah. So November 30th, the day that Noah entered the ark, December 7th, the day that the flood came. That's a great scenario for the rapture to happen, because just like in the days of Noah, we can expect the rapture to be a surprise to the world, just like the flood was. And Jesus himself said and gave this typology about the flood being somewhat related to the rapture, the end times. So November 30th through December 7th, a possibility for us to watch and expect the rapture because of the time of Noah. I know some of you who don't know this channel are asking yourselves why that's the time of Noah, since for the Jewish calendar, here, that if we see together, for the Jewish calendar, the time of Noah already happened on the beginning of this month. Well, that's because the Jewish calendar are 1 month ahead of time. So for the Jews, the 8th of November was the day the flood came. The Great Flood begins on the 8th of November, but they are 1 month ahead of the true calendar, the true astronomical calendar. They are following tradition, therefore they are often 1 month ahead of the true calendars. We explain this on our channel here with some videos. Let me see if I can find them for you guys, in order for you guys to see what we are following here. So the true calendar here is explained on this video here. The 12 constellations are the 12 months. In this video here, there's 1 hour of studying to show and prove to you guys why the Jews are often 1 month ahead of the true calendar, the astronomical calendar. Therefore, they are watching the dates ahead of what they are supposed to watch. They miss Passover and they miss all the true feasts based on the correct position of the sun, moon, and stars. As for a fact, they missed the 2021 and 2022 blood moon tetrads that fell on Passover and Tabernacles, or the true feast dates that they missed because they were 1 month ahead of the true calendar. So that happens very often. Therefore, we cannot trust completely the Jewish calendar to see biblical feasts because they are 1 month ahead. But we do consider it just for uh, a consideration that most of the world considers this calendar here. So we look at the feasts that they consider as well. So on November 30th and December 7th, that will be the true time of Noah. For the Jews will be nothing. There's nothing on that moment there. Still, it will be relevant for us that are watching the position of the sun, moon, and stars at the true calendar. After that, I know many watchmen all over the internet, they are looking towards the next Jewish feast date, which is Hanukkah. Hanukkah is a very interesting feast that takes place on the month of Kislev, or the ninth month for the Jews. They often put it on around somewhere around Christmas or December, which is should be closer to Christmas there because there's already this feast for the world. I found it interesting because since 2020, I guess, a lot of propaganda has been uh, delivered for us in the mainstream media about a blackout happening around Christmas time, and they have been showing us that in propaganda on the internet, propaganda on videos, series, and many places there. There's also a movie called The World After Us from Barack Obama that portrays a somewhat idea of that happening there around Christmas time. And it's interesting to see that it is always falling around the time that the Jews call it Hanukkah. And I know many brothers and sisters are already watching or expecting this. It is interesting. The Feast of Hanukkah is a feast of the oil, it's the feast of the lights, right? That's when we can when we believe that Jesus Christ was conceived. That's also, if you count from Passover, that's the ninth month, or the ninth month is when the baby is born. It's very interesting, the feast of Hanukkah. It will fall from December 15 to December 22. Some people are already saying that the near pass of Three-Eye Atlas comet will be December 19. They are associating with that. I believe Pastor Sandy already said that the fourth day of Hanukkah is when Lazarus resurrected. So there are many things that are coincidences pointing to that moment in time. If we pass this time of Noah here, we will watch here. We will watch this one here just for the sake of it. It could be happening there. And if it passes, most of the watchmen will be hopeless after that because that's the last feast from 2025. But we'll still have the true Hanukkah happening astronomically from January 14th to January 21st, which will also be an interesting moment for us to watch for the rapture of the church. So these three key dates here, or key time frames for us to watch, they are based on biblical feasts and interesting dates from the Bible for us to watch and expect the rapture of the church. And after that, we are looking up to the limit of February 20, 2026, which will be 40 days before the 1st of April 2026, which has got to be the beginning of the tribulation. After that, we'll have to reanalyze a lot of things based on historical evidence that we have been gathering for a decade, more or less, with astronomical evidence as well. So we believe deeply that the rapture must happen between now up to the rapture limit. And the best case scenario for us is either on this time of Noah that will get many by surprise, including many watchmen that are not watching the signs on the true calendar based on the position of the sun, moon, and stars. Another one will be the best case scenario for the entire world, which will be the Hanukkah date, close to Christmas. There's already propaganda about it from the elite, the controllers of this world. Most of the watchmen are watching for this Hanukkah feast. We have pastors, we have watchmen looking at this. We have a scenario for it to be on the feast of Hanukkah. The baby is born on the ninth month. So there's a lot of things leading us to this moment as well. That will be the best case scenario for the world and the watchmen. If it passes, there's the true Hanukkah in January. We'll also be getting many by surprise, but still a very nice scenario for us to believe. After that, we have the rapture limit, which is nothing. There's nothing in the Bible connected to this rapture limit. And after that, we are within this small time frame here of 40 days, which should have already, the rapture should have already happened before the 1st of April. That should be, it must be the covenant with many that starts the tribulation in order for it to end by May 14, 2033, the true Passover there of the crowning of Christ, which is perfectly 7 years ahead of 2026. 26 is also the day, the number of the name of God, Yud Hey Vav Hey. So we are watching here the best and the last case scenario for the rapture to take place ahead of us, either now in November, possibly in December, if not in January, and after that, the most we can understand is February. After that, we'll have to watch day by day, because we'll need to explain why would the rapture happen less than 40 days away from the beginning of the tribulation. And it's interesting. The 1st of April being the day of a lie internationally, or the April Fool's Day, is the best case scenario also for the Antichrist to do this alliance with many, right? Christ did an alliance on Passover with his church, and the Antichrist will try to imitate Christ doing this April 1st, April Fool's Day covenant with many for 7 years, and he will break this covenant halfway. So that's the best case scenario for a date for the Antichrist to do this covenant. The other time that April Fool's Day will be Passover for the Jews will be in 2044 or 2045. I forgot it, but it's way too late for us to even consider as a possible date for the return of Christ. So the best case scenario for us, based on everything that we have been studying, is now. We can expect it now in November, there in December, or at most January, and that's as far as we can see it with our eyes right now. I truly hope it happens, because we have been watching for so long now. I have been doing this for so long, and I truly hope that this is it, because things are not getting easy here, and we hope that Jesus Christ will take us out of here before things go south very fast. We have been having signs, and this has got to be the last warning, the last sign. I don't think anything can happen in order for Jesus Christ to warn us that he is coming, other than an X with eclipses and major red skies being seen and being shown to everyone else in the world through the internet with photos and videos, which is something that we couldn't ever expect this to happen before the coming of Christ. So I truly hope it happens. I truly believe that we are watching the last warning. We just watched the last warning. There's nothing else that can be done to warn the world. We saw that the ancients did believe that this is a sign of the end times, and we are seeing this together with calling for peace, right? UN Security Council approves US peace plan for Gaza, and we are seeing the peace being endorsed and prepared constantly in our minds. In the UN, in the Middle East, there are constantly calls for peace, calls for Israel to bring peace, calls for all of this scenario of the Antichrist to come forward. And I truly believe that the son-in-law of Trump is the guy that we have to watch to be the one warned about on the Bible. He fits all the scenario, and he's the guy behind the peace plan in Gaza, the peace plan in the Middle East. He's the guy behind the Abraham Accords. I truly believe he's the guy that the Bible told us about. He fits the narrative perfectly, and he is the one behind the scenes pulling the strings for peace. So at the same time we are watching warning signs from God, we're watching peace being promoted in the Middle East as much as they can, right? Through the UN, through the Gaza plan, through the Israel and the Arab nations, we're watching this, so we must be very close. And to be the closest we can, then we can expect those dates here to be the most important ones. The next one, time of Noah, then December Hanukkah, with many watchmen are already looking at this, but don't miss this one. This is very important. It could catch many by surprise. And then through Hanukkah, many will miss as well, but if we pass it and we are here in January, we'll watch this one as well. Don't just look at this one, look at this, and then this, for us to have the best case scenarios covered in all areas here. All right, so I hope that this video has blessed you plentifully. I hope that we see each other in the kingdom of God either on those dates or on the next video if I can make here on the channel. If you're blessed by this video, please bless us here on this channel as well. All of the support you guys gave us is very important for us here in Brazil. It's terrible. And I hope that we leave here as soon as we can, because things are going south very fast in here as well. So I hope to see you guys very soon. The kingdom of Jesus Christ, when the trumpets sound, hopefully this November or at most December. If not, we'll be here watching with you guys, preparing the next video for you guys in order for us to be ready to meet him in the clouds. Amen. Maranatha, I hope that you're blessed, and I hope that we see each other very soon. Maranatha.